Hey, hello! Let me kick off today's show of superhuman life hacking with the reminder. My friends, one life, just one. So, why aren't we running like we are on fire towards our wildest goals and dreams? Hello, this is Anton Benning, and as you might know, these episodes we are going over the higher faculties of the mind. And today we've arrived at memory. So we're going over the memory optimization checklist. These are just simple ideas, simple tricks that you can use to build your memory because our memory is perfect, just like our bicep, for example. We can train it, and when we train it, it gets stronger, it gets better. And also, just like our bicep, what we don't use, we lose. And our memory and optimization techniques for our memory goes back all the way to the orators of the Roman and the Greek empires. And these orators, for example, to remember their speeches and train their memory, they would dedicate certain parts of their speeches to specific parts of their home. So the opening of the speech, for example, they'd remember by dedicating that to the opening of the door of their house. Then the second part would be dedicated to understanding their foyer. Then the third part of their speech would be dedicated, for example, to sitting in their favorite chair in their living room. And so, by walking mentally through their house, they completely memorized their speech and were completely able to say and remember exactly what they wanted to say during their speech. And the art of memory over the years, it has been lost and it has been found back, and it has been lost again and it has been found back again. And the essence of memory is that we can use it to do so many different things in our lives. We can use it to learn more, to study more, to remember the names of the people that we come in contact with, to remember the things that we need to remember at the times that we need them. Quotations, things that we've learned from the past, things that we've learned from people. But we need to create certain systems in our mind to be able to recall exactly those things when we want to recall them. And I've here like a little quotation from William Stokes out of the book The Memory Book by Harry Lorraine and Jerry Lucas. And if you really like want to build and start properly using that higher faculty of the mind, memory, it is really, I recommend that you purchase this book and you study it, because our memory as one of the higher faculties of our mind, we can really use to better our lives. What would it be like if you'd never have to read, for example, a paragraph or a sentence like for a second time, because you've trained your mind to go through the paragraph or the sentence and exactly pick up those things that you believe that you should remember and have it always in your storehouse of memory available for when you need it. That is how people have taught other people, for example, to memorize the Bible or to memorize the Quran. Like, you can memorize complete books if you just know which systems to use. And it all starts with the system of association. And the best way of association in use for optimizing your memory is to use ridiculous association. When you read something, associate different facts of the things that you read to something ridiculous. to, let's say, for example, a clown in a handstand, like singing about the part that you want to remember. And these crazy, ridiculous associations, they give you the ability to, all right, I need this right now. So look, you only need to think about a clown in a handstand, and the rest of the idea that you need will come to you. Now, this is also how these orators in the past did it, from the Roman and the Greek empires. They went through the association of the different places of their house, which might have been looking ridiculous to some other people, because you're sitting in a chair in your mind. Why would that remind you of that which you want to remember? But it is all about, like, your memory works based upon associations. If you associate something with something else, it is easier for you to remember it. And the best way to remember something super fast is to give yourself 5 associations. When you want to remember something and be able to bring it back into your memory, like whenever you need it, like, say for example, you meet someone important and you want to be 100% sure that you don't forget his or her name. Then think about 5 different things that you can associate the name with. Let's say my surname is Benning. Ben is in Dutch ik ben. So Benning from I am. Then ink is inked. So I can see the name written in like a very beautiful red ink. It has the I from I. So there is Benning I. And so you put 5 different associations together that might be ridiculous, but that makes sense to you to remember that which you want to remember. Now let me read this quotation to you from William Stokes, a philosopher and memory teacher of the 1800s, and he summarizes the degree of public interest in the art of trained memory like this. It is true that notwithstanding the records of the past and the achievements, triumphs, and trophies of the present, the quote-unquote educated, the intelligent masses, the world know not and seem not to care to know its wondrous worth. The adaptation of the science by a few paltry thousands cannot be regarded as anything when we consider the countless myriads peopling the earth. When we realize the fact that it is as essential to the proper exercise and full development of our intellectual existence as proper breathing is to our physical well-being, in spite of all that has been said and done, we may say comparatively, almost absolutely, that the art is a thing unknown. There can be little doubt that before long it will be generally recognized as an established science, and posterity will look back and regard this plea on behalf of memory as an indication of the intellectual darkness of this age of boasted enlightenment. Let us hope that the day will come when it shall be considered as great a disgrace not to use memory systems as it is at present not to read. So this is super important, because it's not just about that if you don't read, you don't really advance in life. If you don't learn, you don't really advance in life. If you read but you don't memorize, or you don't remember that which what you learn or that which what you read, then it has been useless anyway, right? So reading is a whole other topic. People say, I can speed read. I can read 1,500 words a minute, and they're super proud of it. And I don't like to use the word impossible, but it's been physiologically proven that let's say it's not impossible, but nearly impossible to read so many words a minute and to properly retain that which you have read. Isn't it useless to read super fast, but to really have to read something 5 times? If you study these systems and you only have to read a book once and through the images and associations that you create in your mind, you're able to just go back to the page in the book that you need because you memorized the page number, or the quotation in the book that you memorized exactly where you know it were, or just the simple facts that you wanted to remember. Then with a maximum speeding read that is just your normal rate of reading, and your normal rate of reading might be relatively slow in the beginning when you start to create images in your mind to associate yourself and your ideas to that what you want to remember. But over time, that will go faster as well. And when that goes faster as well, you're not only able to start to read faster, but you're also going to be able to remember everything that which you've learned through your reading. Now, it has been said that memory has been used in so many different ways, ranging all the way back to Shakespeare, for example, where his theater was called the Memory House. And that there were people who used these memory systems, that they were at certain times in the past regarded as witches. That is how rare these memory systems are. And nowadays they're basically collected in just a few books. And one of the most amazing things that I believe you can read is the memory book by Harry Lorraine and Jerry Lucas. So let us study this. Let us study this higher faculty of the mind. Let us study every higher faculty of the mind one by one, as I'm going through these in a little bit more depth, one by one as well. Our memory, our perception, our reason, our will, our imagination, and our intuition. Next episode, I will dive a little bit deeper into our reasoning factor as another higher faculty of the mind. But please don't just disregard this and move on to the next video. Schedule for yourself, let's say 2 or 3 months, to work on every single higher faculty of the mind. Because when we develop the higher faculties of the mind, we become, as I've said before, not a creature of circumstance, but a creator of circumstance. And don't we all just want to be a creator of circumstance, where we have the ability to determine the outcomes in our outer reality? Wouldn't that be amazing? I believe it truly would. For now, I would love to wish you an amazing day. And don't forget, my friends, live with love and live with passion. Namaste.